Hi everybody. So I know obviously this time of the morning this would probably be a coffee talk video, but this morning it is a Diet Vanilla Coke video. I know you guys saw me say, 12 patients and I'm chilling like a villain, and I really was. I know that 12 might sound like a lot because I know you guys probably see TikToks and stuff like that about nurses talking about having 5 patients and 6 patients. This for me was kind of like a vacation because I'm used to being in nursing homes and stuff, filling in where I have anywhere between 25 and 30 patients, assigned to me. So 12 patients was a cakewalk. And I didn't really have a whole lot to do past 11 o'clock, so I was just kind of there in case I was needed. Probably funniest circumstance out of the whole night, I came, I did meds, I had them all ready to go, excuse me, and I got done with just about everybody except for 2 people. And for the sake of conversation, I'm changing names. One of them was a skinny little white kid named Kyle, who I had seen zooming up and down the hallway all night, just wide open, just running his mouth. And then the other one was a tall, skinny black gentleman, who I'm going to call Ty. And about 9:30, all I could hear was Kyle's voice, wide open, just blah, 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 just loud, coming from his room. So I walked down to right outside of his room, and I knocked on the door and I said, "Hey, hey, look, I know you're a little amped up, my dude." I'm like, "But could we dial back the volume just a little bit?" And he said, "Who is that?" I said, "It's the nurse." He said, "Oh." I said, I'm like, I mean, I know you're kind of caught up in something and everything. I said, but even though it's still relatively early, there are people in here that have possibly gone to bed already. And he goes, "Oh." And he didn't say anything for a while. About an hour later, him and Ty had not shown up to get their meds yet still, but I could hear both of them. I could hear whole conversations going on in this little cafe / entertainment room that they've got in the facility. So I walked down there to get a cup of ice, and I walked around behind them because, I didn't want to walk in front of the TV and cut off their view. But Ty stops me and he said, "You're new." He's like, "I've never seen you before. What's your name?" And I said, "Well, I'm Heather. Nice to meet you." He said, "I'm Ty." I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, I have meds waiting for you, by the way." He said, "Oh, I know. I'm going to come get them in a little bit." I said, "Okay." Now, apparently, Ty and Kyle are roommates. They each have, their own full-size bed, queen-size bed, whatever the hell. And I didn't realize that right away when that whole thing with Kyle and the volume happened. And I went to walk back behind them, and Kyle turns around in the seat and looks at me. He said, "How do you even know that was me making all that noise in my room?" I said, "Well, number one," I said, "you have been zooming up and down the halls, talking wide open this entire time." I said, "And 2, I think it's pretty safe to say that your voice would only come from a skinny guy named Kyle." I said, there's no way in the great wide world that I would expect you to open your mouth and have Ty's voice come out. And everybody started laughing because there were 4 of them in total in there. I said, but, I said, I've got your meds ready too whenever you're ready to come get them. I said, but please don't forget them. I said, because otherwise you're not going to be able to sleep. And I went and I turned the corner and I got like 2 or 3 steps down the hallway. And Kyle goes, she's full of shit. She ain't got no idea what the hell she's talking about. And I stopped and I just kind of looked over my shoulder and I said, I know well enough to know that you ain't got no volume control. I said, simply because I know that I just heard every single bit of what you just said. I said, do you need me to come back in there so you can work up the muster to say it directly to me? And he didn't respond, but all the guys in the room with him laughed. And I just kept on going from that point. And he finally did eventually show up to the window, and he was not the slightest bit slick with me, but just the look on his face when I said, I didn't expect you to open your mouth and have Ty's voice come out of you. It was just funny. Just the way that it played out, it was funny because he just got this look like, and it was amusing to me. What can I say? I'm easy to entertain. So after some conversation and the fact that you guys have said that you rather like the idea of personal handcrafted items, I am going to be giving away jewelry. I'm going to make some jewelry for you guys. So I figure either I will be making some waist beads for you guys like the ones that I have, and I've got to find some appropriate stringing material because that wiring thing, it is a pain in the ass. I would have to actually have you guys measure your waist for me and then make this, make the chain after your name has been drawn, and then you send me the measurement and then do all that and then send it out to you. So it could take me a week before I could even get it in the mail. So I'm going to find a way to string them the way that I have mine done so that I can kind of make them and you can just remove any beads that you don't need, and then you can adjust it to your size and just tie them. So that's my plan. And this way you guys have something that is entirely yours. Not something anybody else has, and then you get that secondary little thing of feeling girly all the time without anybody knowing, sort of thing. So, I did want to talk to you real quick about Foodie's comment, and I'm here, and I noticed this. Foodie is so desperate for content that she is literally going through this whole, look, I'm going to just copy ALR foolishness, including right down to the verbiage that she uses. I mean, her using the term, it's a tool. And I said this months ago in a video to ALR because ALR's analogy was, this is that, my losing weight would be like, could equate to something as simple as I need to hang a picture and all I need is a nail. This is not a tool. A tool would imply that whatever it is, you can pick it up, you use it, and you put it back down. Okay? The Ozempic was a tool. The diet plans was a tool. Okay? This is not a tool by any stretch of the imagination. And I hate that people try to use that as a applicable term for something like weight loss surgery. And in the responsive video that I made to ALR where she kept trying to use this nail analogy, I'll kind of summarize it that, number one, her demanding a nail when she hasn't even done enough to be able to have the strength to even lift a hammer is asinine. That should or ever she get the chance to have a nail, her inability to actually wield a hammer because of her lack of participation, there's a distinct possibility that she may not even hit the nail, or she may do so sloppily that she would end up basically driving the nail all the way into the wall, leaving a hole. But with that same analogy, I think it's safe to say that, realistically, this is less likely to be a nail situation and more likely a steel beam situation. And that's the way that I broke it down when I responded to ALR's momentary bullshit. This is a steel beam is what this is. Because once this step is taken, this is permanent. Hi, Mama. She's ready for her close-up, Mr. DeVille. Cat butt. Hi. This is a steel beam, and that's what neither of these two fools seems to be able to wrap their mind around. Once it's there, it's there. There is no changing it, and there is absolutely no putting it down. And whatever consequences comes with the decision making of having weight loss surgery is also there permanently. And since we know, hi, are you making laps? Yeah. Hi. You're a good girl. And since we know that Foodie, just like ALR, does not listen to anybody, that secondary complications are almost a guarantee for her, which means every bit of whatever's coming her way is going to be hers to be stuck with. And I think we also know that despite the fact that she will have been told that if she doesn't follow the direction of her doctor, that she will have complications, and then she's going to want pity for those complications, which I will not and cannot find it in me to give, ever. The other issue that I have with this particular course of action with Foodie, excuse you, is the fact that she kind of expects, number one, that she's just going to go in here in this office and get a referral. And that this is simply just going to go how she expects it to go, which is not the case. The fact is that 2 to 3 year waiting period that is ongoing right now is probably because there's a waiting list. And I would almost guarantee you that a large portion of that waiting list is probably people who are actually willing and able and capable and are doing the work to ensure that they qualify for the surgery and that they come through successfully on the other side with little to no complications. And that it's not just a quick fix for them, that it's going to be a permanent lifestyle change. And that's part of the issue that I have with the flippancy that ALR and Foodie have taken on this matter previously and now. Realistically, we know they're narcissists. We know that they're both idiots. But this level of self-importance and the fact that they think that because they want this, that it should happen, and the prerequisites shouldn't matter, is just, it's insane to me. Another thought that I had too, which I I had like in the middle of the night last night, just like out of nowhere. And I don't know if it's just me, but do you notice with this whole diabetes reemergence thing, she has been diagnosed by a Muslim man, Muslim physician, okay, decades of education and experience, more than capable and equipped of helping her manage her diabetes and to get her to some semblance of normal in that regard. She finds this doctored, flavored Metamucil being peddled by a white CEO, and all of a sudden this doctor's knowledge, recommendation, and guidance has completely gone out the window. Now, I think it's pretty safe to say we all know that Foodie is a racist. I mean, we've seen it. She has this behavior that she is better than anyone who has any level of melanin to their skin that is more advanced than her own. And their level of education, their knowledge base, their experience doesn't mean anything to her because of it. I have the feeling that not obviously there is a money factor involved. She doesn't want to pay to have treatment, fine. But I think too that the likelihood that she's going to end up seeing someone who looks more like her, who will probably tell her the exact same things that the doctor in Kuwait told her, are pretty high. But once it comes from that doctor who looks more like her and like moi, she will probably be more likely to actually take it seriously. Or rephrase, she won't take it more seriously. She will give it more weight. Let's say it like that. So I had to point that out. I wasn't sure if anybody but me had that thought, which I am not okay with, because there is nothing okay about that. I mean, if medical staff were ever racist to a patient, that's not okay. And it's also not okay for patients to be racist and bigoted toward their medical team. You know, mutual respect is an actual thing. If you're not going to comply and work with your provider, then just say so. You know, instead of playing these little shadow games like you're taking it seriously when we all know you're not, you know, if that makes sense. So those are thoughts that I had, figured I'd share. It's still kind of early, and I won't lie, I am kind of tired. So I think I'm going to take a nap. Not long though, so that I can flip my sleep schedule back the other way, because I'm off until Friday. So it would be nice to be able to have some sort of normal sleep schedule between now and then. I found a couple of Christmas movies that are royalty free that should not be affected by the YouTube copyright system. So what I want to know is do you guys want to watch a Christmas movie with me? Now, mind you, it will not be a new one. I mean, if you'll recall, The Night of the Living Dead was from the 60s, and that was a fluke that I was able to get that for us to be able to watch for Halloween. The Christmas movies that I have found are from like the 30s and 40s, so I leave that up to you guys. Worst case scenario, we'll have, if you guys say you don't want to go that route, then we can just hold off and we'll pick up with our usual live stream for Thursday. But, you know, if you're down, let me know and I'll sort something out probably for tomorrow night. That sounds good to you guys, because I don't have any major plans for tomorrow. So that's what I got. Appreciate you guys just listening to me run on my mouth for a few moments. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.